Hello there, I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery here in Canmore, Alberta. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and I love my job. I love getting to send out, little tokens of my appreciation for people, and it just, is a way to brighten someone's day inexpensively. Perfect. Sign me up. Today I wanted to pop on to show you this amazing country floral embossing folder, and it is something that you can get for free. Ukrainian free, I'll take it. So it's stunning, and I was just playing around with it yesterday and trying some different techniques, and so I thought, oh, I want to show you how all these different ways that you can use it. So here it is. I had this already. Here we go. All right, so it looks like this. So not much when you just see it, of course, but when you run it through the Big Shot, it can make some stunning projects. So what I did was I used all the same color as kind of the base, and this one I just did balmy blue with the little white frame on it, and on all the cards I used the polka dotted ribbon, which I think is so delicate and elegant, and then just this little stitched oval framelit and with different sayings and some pearls. So this was one that was just run through straight balmy blue. This one I inked up the embossing folder, and look at the neat effect you can get there. So I thought, oh, this reminds me of a wedding card. So I did Today and Always. So it was a white piece of paper, and I inked the embossing folder with the balmy blue, and that's how I got that effect. This one, I did the same thing, but I used balmy blue paper, inked up the embossing folder with balmy blue ink, and ran it through the Big Shot. So that has a totally different, effect. Like that. Isn't that neat? Next, I ran it through the Big Shot with Whisper White, but I used a dauber to go over top and kind of just hit the tops of the flowers. So I did that with balmy blue, and that's a nice kind of airy, light feel to it. Next, Whisper White, and I used the aqua painter and just painted over top sloppily onto the flowers with, I think this was Flirty Flamingo and soft seafoam. Isn't that pretty? And then here's another color option. So I did So Saffron, and I ran it through with white, Whisper White, and I inked the embossing folder with the So Saffron. Isn't that delicate and beautiful? Oh, so I want to show you how I did this. Now I did these ones in balmy blue, like I said. I'm going to show you how to do this with soft seafoam. I thought, let's change up the color a little bit, right? All right, so first off, for instance, here is the embossing folder, just run through as white. Simple, an option, right? But you all know how to run it through the Big Shot. So I'm going to show you how I inked up the embossing folder. So I've got my soft seafoam layer. I've got just a little white mat. This is measured at, let me see, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, I believe. I think so. And then this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so another white Whisper White sheet. Okay, so here's my embossing folder. So when you open it up, there is a kind of a flat side where the pattern kind of goes down, and then there's a side where it's bumpy, where the pattern is raised. To put the ink on, you want to put it on the flat side. And so if you see, this side is narrower than the flat side. So let's go with the larger side flat side where the pattern goes down. Next, I'm just going to open up my ink pad and start. You can tap, you can rub, you can whatever goes best for you. And this way, it's not inking that indented pattern. It's leaving all those pieces sunken. Next, let's put my little piece of Whisper White into the embossing folder. I'm just going to lay it down and close up the lid, sandwiching it between. Now this is, I'll bring my Big Shot over here. Since this is kind of a thicker folder, you don't need, there's a plate. You take off this plate and you take off one of the, like this, the plates. And you only need one to put over top. So it's basically onto the Big Shot platform, the embossing folder, and then a plate. And you run it through. I'm excited about this color. I haven't tried it yet. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Oh, such just a neat color combination. All right, so there's that with the white. Now let's try it again, but let's do the soft sea foam as opposed to the Whisper White. Let me just put this over here. I need to re-ink this folder. If your ink pad is too wet, it can be kind of a pain. It leaves a lot of spots, and it seems like the lighter the ink color, it works better, just from what I've heard. So if you need to hang on to something, hang on inside of a little rose or something. I think that looks good. Close this up. And here's my soft seafoam layer. So once again, just place it down. This pattern is pretty forgiving. You do have a lot of room on either side, so which is good. Let me bring over the Big Shot again. Big Shot, if you don't have a Big Shot, is a wonderful tool. It you can cut things out in different shapes. You can impress patterns upon paper, which is awesome with the embossing folders. It just kind of steps your projects up just a little. Okay, get this out of the way before we have the big reveal. Ooh, nice. So let me get this mat of white. I like this almost better than the last one with the white. Look at that. Okay, let's compare. Oh, beautiful, hey? Oh, I love them. Okay, so I'm just going to set those aside. I am going to clean off my embossing folder. You can run it under the tap, and it'll take all that ink off because, of course, it's water-based. Or I have a baby wipe here. If you have the Simply Chamois, you can use it. I just like, it has quite a bit of ink, so I don't want to get that all over my chamois. But it's you're definitely able to use it. Make sure you get the sides there. You seem to sneak onto places that you don't expect, that's for sure. All right, so the next technique is with the daubers. And so with the daubers, I'm just going to rub some ink onto those raised layers. So here I have sort of Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to use that color for the roses. So I'm just lightly rubbing over top of that. Where's another rose here? Let's go here. Just light, hardly pressing at all. Here's one. And if it gets a little bit on the background, doesn't matter, right? It's just kind of a whimsy of a airy look. I think I'm going to do these flowers as well with the Flirty Flamingo. See if I can catch them all. Barely touching. I don't know how to explain that. It's being very important. If you press, you're going to get to the bottom, the background layer. Some over here, one here, a couple here. They're all kind of mixed in throughout, that's for sure. Okay, I think that looks good. So there's that color. And then I was thinking of adding some Mango Melody, so I'm going to use that on the other flower. There's kind of almost a marigold looking thing. Light, light, light. And of course, if you're rubbing lightly, all the pieces that kind of go downward stay white, which is kind of what I want. Okay, and lastly for the leaves, I am wanting to put the soft seafoam. Get out the dauber. There are little dots throughout, so you can just kind of carefully go over top of the whole thing, which will snag those little dots that are raised. So pretty. And plus this, since the background paper is soft seafoam, a little bit of it gets on the background layer. Whatever, right? It all matches. Oh, pretty. So on my last card, the Balmy Blue one, I just used the one color. So here's kind of the difference. Let me get my background. And on this one, I mixed up some of the colors. Isn't that pretty? Oh, beautiful. All right, and the last one I used my aqua painter for. So on this one I used soft seafoam and Flirty Flamingo. This time I think I'm going to use Petal Pink. So when you're using your aqua painter, you want to squish the ink pad so that it gets ink on the lid. You don't want to be dipping your water into the ink pad because that's might dilute your ink a little too much. So like I said, this is kind of a airy, and it's not exact. Let's put it that way. All right, I'm gonna go with this rose here. So, you know, water gets all over, but it's part of the, I guess it's fire alarm day. It's part of the whimsy of it. I know my puppies hate that noise. Oh, but I'll be cowering somewhere. Oh, honey. I know you don't. You hate that noise. They were here last week and they had to check every single condo. And of course, that was a little stressful for the dogs. I think I'm going to continue with, oh, see, now he wants out because, no, but it's okay. Because he knows that noise isn't outside. It's okay, bud. It'll be all okay. So I'm getting like water everywhere. You know, it's painting on more than just the flowers. I'm definitely getting more on the backgrounds, but it all kind of works itself out and looks very pretty. This one I missed. Here's one. One over here. And I think that is it for that. Oh, they're pretty well hidden, that's for sure. Okay, next I'm going to use some Highland Heather. He wants out. What's this for? Some purple for you purple fans. And over here. Let's see. I got all the pieces here. I think so. Yes. And then just for the leaves, I'm going to use the soft sea foam. Oop, need to squish a little harder. Sometimes you can squish pretty hard. Sometimes you're scared you're going to break the case, but it all works out. It's all okay. All right, so finding the leaves in amongst the fire alarm. It's just a test. We know it's a test. I forgot it's a test every time you forget. So that's why I'm not exiting the building. Otherwise, you should exit the building. We were, where were we? We were in a hotel in Fargo, North Dakota. And the fire alarm, of course, went off in the middle of the night. And like, nobody leaves the building, which is kind of crazy. So, I don't know. I guess people are conditioned to think that, oh, it's just a false alarm or something. I don't know. Anyways, my dad being a former fire inspector, I knew we need to get out. Same with one time we were shopping in Superstore and the alarm is going off, like the fire alarm is going off. The cashiers are just, you know, looking around. They don't know. They're still working. Nobody's leaving the building. I'm like, oh my Lanta. Whether it's a false alarm or not, people need to get out. Okay, and here, let's have a look. So light and airy. Isn't that pretty? So, there are some different combinations on how you can use that Country Floral Embossing folder. I hope that this gives you some ideas on how to use it if you already own it. If you don't already own it, it is your time to get this one. It's so beautiful. And there, as you can see, so many different ways that you can use it. So if you would like to order this today, I will give the link in the comments of where you can click to place your order so that you can get this embossing folder for free. Have a crafty day.